welcome to Writing with Sandhya. And I'm so excited that we're going to start author interviews on this channel. My first guest is Anu A. I had attended her book launch recently, and she's attending my YouTube interview launch. So very excited about that. Anu and I go a ways back. We know each other for over 2 decades. We've had a corporate career in technical communications together. And we met each other in conferences and so on. And now she has come up with her first book, a humor publication called I Am in Denial. What's interesting to me is that she blogged for a while and then the book came out of it. So let's hear from Anu about her journey from blogging to publication. So welcome, Anu, to the channel.
Thank you, Sandhya. And I'm super excited about being the first guest on your show.
Yes, really honored that you are my first guest. So I know the story, but for the viewers, how did you move from corporate career into writing?
Actually, I've been a technical writer all my life, ever since I started my corporate career. So there was never any plan of writing anything other than, user manuals and help and things like that. But somewhere along the way, my daughter started growing up super fast. And I realized, I had to spend time with her now or I wouldn't get that kind of time later. So in the last 2-3 years, that's when the feeling of I need to spend time with her started building up. So I decided to take a break. I took a break, I think, exactly 2 years ago, this October. And I have liked to write, but I never realized that I had so much writing inside me. I just started writing because it's not like I'm sitting with my daughter the whole day. So I started writing and wrote and wrote and wrote. And yeah, I've reached where I've reached right now because of that. So it's something that came out of the blue, and it's been super fun.
So I think it was just waiting for the right time. It just happened organically.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I've seen you at work, you're in your cubicle and, with your team, in meetings and having, lunches in the cafeteria. So I know what your corporate life looks like. But what does your new writing life look like now? So, where you sit, what's your workspace like? What's your schedule? What's your daily activities and tasks like now?
Right now, it's literally one day at a time. Like I said, my core goal is to be available for my daughter. So I don't have a writing space per se. I've not really thought about it. I sit on the highway. I sit at the dining table. So anybody who's passing by stops and chats with me. So literally on the highway in the house. And most likely, like most often, I'm available to my daughter. She bursts out of the room. Right now, it's all online, right? So she comes out. She's like, what happened in class? And I want to be there and to be able to listen to her and not worry about, but I have to get into a meeting. So that's kind of how I'm taking it right now. We'll see how it goes, as she gets into higher classes and her life takes over. But right now, that is what it is. Everything that I need is spread on the dining table. It's a bit chaotic. It's not like like they show in the movies or like a lot of other serious writers talk about. There's no proper space. There's no me time. There's no closed door. I don't know if that'll ever happen. I don't know if I want it to happen. I like how it's working right now.
Okay.
So it's very chaotic. I write in between. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was like, that could be the title of your next book, On the Highway.
Yes.
So you said that, you were just lots of ideas came to you. So where do you get your ideas from?
Actually, it's very funny because all these days when I wasn't thinking about writing, there was nothing going on in my head. I would go somewhere, do something, come back. That was it. But now that I've started writing, everything I do or somebody does is becoming an idea. So I've already filled up one whole book with ideas. What I do is something strikes me, I write it down in a book, and at some point that thing gets stronger and stronger, and then I actually write about it. So the book is filling up very rapidly. Every day there's something or the other that happens. You try to make a cup of coffee, there's something out of that. I've already written some 3 poems about just making coffee, right? Then you go outside to the balcony, watch the rain. I don't know how many poems I've written about the rain. See the sunset, I've got articles about sunset. So everything that happens, there's a bee in the bathroom, I have an article about it. There's some conversation with the maid, there's an article. So it's like ideas are everywhere. I think we just need to open up our mind and say, okay, this could turn into something to write about, and that's what I'm discovering. So Everywhere, ideas are everywhere. I'll tell you, just now we've I think we had a call in the morning. There are a lot of technology challenges, right? Like there's no light, there's no sound, speakers not okay. All of it is bound to become an article at some point, because if so much, when I disconnect myself from it, it looks like a lot of fun. So I will write about some of these things too. Yeah.
So would you say that you've become, you're observing more keenly now that you are a writer?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm exercising a muscle that I didn't even know I had. I'm absolutely observing more keenly. I'm sure there is some distance to go in terms of observation as well, but definitely I'm more observant now than I was before.
So yeah, you mentioned that, everything there's something funny and you wrote about it. Like, yeah, your book, I think it's really humorous. And this is one thing I said when I read the book and in your book launches, it sounds like you speaking, because I know you, you have this, observational humor, and this is how you are in life. And so you found your voice with your first book. And so I think that's amazing. How does it become, you've told how, that you get your ideas, but how does it become funny? Like, how do you get the humor into your stories?
I've been trying to introspect about that and see if I can come up with a formula, but so far I haven't been successful. But I think it's, again, like I just said a minute ago, I think you have to dissociate yourself with the situation. Mm-hmm. Every time you're in it, even just before this call, right, I was going around the house trying to figure out what is the best place for me to sit in, what is the best setup to have, because I'm not established, I don't have my space like I talked about earlier. Every call is a challenge, because I'm walking from one room to the other. Is this good? Is that good? Which mic set will work? When I'm in it, I'm actually stressed. I was like complaining, I don't have a space in this house, there's no, I was ranting. But I know for a fact that I'll go away and 2 days, 3 days later, I'll be able to disconnect from the emotion that I'm feeling at this point and see it play out as somebody else's life, right? And see, oh, it was so funny, because I'm like a mad hat. I'm running around the house trying to figure out, and it's not even such a big problem actually when it comes down to it. Most of these things that stress us out on a daily basis are not major issues, honestly, touch wood. So we should be able to disconnect and say, oh my God, that was so funny. So I think that's the formula I apply to make situations funny. Disconnect myself from it.
Right. I think it's about life, right? So I think it helps one in life if you're able to disconnect and take a step back, get some perspective.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
Right. So what's your blog called? For the viewers who don't know your blog, do you have a blog space?
I have a website. It's called Anu Annaya Writes, and I also write on medium.com. Annaya is not my last name. It's actually a pen name. Annaya means elder brother, and that's what my dad was known or called throughout his side of the family. So, he was the elder brother to everyone. So I kind of just picked that up. So Anu Annaya is Anu Annaya Writes is my website, and Anu Annaya is my pen name.
Okay. And for how long did you blog? For how long have you been blogging now? 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
Okay, 2 years. Okay. And did you always plan to write a book, or did that idea come later?
So almost the day I made the decision that I was going to take a break from corporate, I think my husband started gently pushing me to say, why don't you write about this? Why don't you write about that? And then there were a couple of colleagues also who said you could try writing on medium.com. And when I started saying, okay, I will write, and I wrote my first post and second post, immediately after that, several people started saying, you should probably write a book. And to be honest, till that point, I had not thought about it. But once they started saying it, it was like a woodpecker, kept on knocking my head like this, saying, write a book, write a book, write a book. And I've actually have several ideas for books also written down. Other than blog post ideas, I also have book ideas. But it was not going anywhere. Like I said, my schedule is still very interrupted on a daily basis. It's not like I can lock myself and write at a shot for 3 days, 4 days. That's never happening. And it's okay. In this phase of life, it's okay. I'm not expecting it to happen. But then I suddenly got an idea that I had written so many posts related to humor in daily life that I could actually compile that and make a book out of it. And yeah, that's how that happened. About a year down the line, I had enough material for a book.
Okay. So how difficult or how easy was it to get into publication? Can you just talk about that process?
I think it is for the average writer. I think it's very difficult. I read a lot about people who are writing to publishing houses and sending their scripts and getting rejected. A lot of these kind of things are happening. I took a shortcut. I just wanted to publish a book to see how it would be, what it would feel like. So I went with what one would call a boutique publisher, and I have to thank you for giving me her lead, Sandhya. So I went with her, and basically I had a plan. I knew what I wanted to do. So she helped me in that journey, and we were able to get the book out. It was honestly very easy compared to all the trials that most other writers go through. I thought it was very easy. Will my next book be the same? What kind of a journey is it going to be? Will I be sending to, I don't know, Penguin, Scribner, any of those people? How's that going to go? I don't know. What I've discovered is that the journey of publishing is different each time. So we'll have to see how that will go. But honestly, it was easy, I have to admit.
Yeah. So, I mean, and this is also something I've heard, like some publishers are not okay with the content which is already published elsewhere. So do you have any insight on that?
Again, in my case, it was,
yeah.
Yeah, so in my case, again, it was my decision to publish what was already on medium.com, but I own full rights, and that's how Medium operates as well, and it's on my website too. So it's my content to do whatever I please with. And because I was actually commissioning someone to work with me to publish this, I think it was okay. But again, if somebody took a traditional route and went to a proper publisher, definitely that would be a no-no, because you can't publish what's already out there. It doesn't make sense.
Right, right. So what's the best and worst part in the publishing journey that you've found?
Best part is now I can call myself author. It's a great thing to be able to write that. 2 years ago, I didn't care, but now it's suddenly so important. So I think that's the absolute best part. Worst part? No, really, there's no worst part. I could say that after point, the sales of the book have dropped down, but then, hey, I'm a newbie and I didn't really expect it. So even that's not a worst part, because I was already ready for it. So no worst part. I'm really still enjoying the high of having published a book.
Okay, so maybe now it's time to see the book. Can you show us the book and
okay.
the name of the book, the publisher, anything you want to share about the book? Oh, wow,
sure.
that looks nice.
Yeah, it's called I Am in Denial, and it is a series of stories. I mean, it's not even a series, it's a collection of stories from everyday life. It's like daily life humor, slice of life kind of stories. And it's like I mentioned earlier, right? Be in the bathroom, then the first time the family got together to bake a cake, how it was like that day we were all screaming at each other and yelling and everything. But again, I did that thing of dissociating, and it was absolutely hilarious, madness, the things that we had done that day, and it was our first baking experience. So things like that, those are the stories. I expect that people will be able to sit down, have a sip of coffee, and read through 2 stories, chuckle a little bit, and move on without any stress. That's the whole point. Enjoy life and take things easy is the thing. It's not meant to keep people at the edge of their seats. It's not that kind of a thing. It's not magic realism. It's not any of those fancy things. It's just everyday humor that should give people perspective about, hey, life is cool. It's good. Enjoy it. So yeah.
I think we did that, right? With the pandemic, I think people are getting stressed, so something like this, it's great. I think it's a wonderful timing as well. So where can people get the book?
It's available. The Kindle version is available on Amazon.com, Amazon.in, and the hard copy is available on Flipkart only in India, unfortunately. So yeah, right now these are the 2 places, and on my website, of course. Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. So this is my first interview, but I thought I'll do a rapid fire round just like all the other interviews do. I don't have a hamper. Maybe I'll come up with something.
Hey, I was going to ask. Show me the hamper.
Yes, it's there. It's an invisible hamper.
Karan Johar has spoiled us by showing that fancy hamper. So.
All right. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right, since you like coffee, if you could invite any 3 authors for coffee, who would you invite?
Super easy. Douglas Adams, P.G. Wodehouse, Gerald Durrell. Yeah. They write superly funny stories, yeah.
Yeah. And can I join you for coffee for that table?
Absolutely. Yes. With your
Yeah.
collection of Word House books, I think you belong in that group.
Yeah. So as a writer, what would you choose as your mascot, avatar or spirit animal?
Haven't thought about that, but now that you ask, dog, of course.
Dog? Okay. Not your little
Absolutely.
hamster who features in one of your stories.
Yeah, no, dog.
Okay. So if you could tell your younger self something about writing, what would it be?
Could be, what the heck were you doing all these days, girl? You should have been writing long ago. That's what I'd say.
Exactly. I know, I echo that. All right. So share one tip to overcome procrastination.
Want to say I'll think about it and procrastinate a little, but uh, it's going to be a longish answer, unfortunately, not rapid fire, because this is something that's a serious issue with most writers. I read a lot about how people struggle with writer's block. I do too, to be honest. There are days sometimes when I'm just not inspired enough. People usually stress out about it. What I've done so far is not stress about it. While I have lists of ideas that keep me going, I also have lists of tasks, more like hygiene things that need to be done. For example, website. I have a website. Somebody's got to maintain it. I'm the one maintaining it. So I do website maintenance tasks, clean up something, delete old pages, things like that. So I have a set of things that are lined up for my non-writer or non-productive writer block days. And I try to chop away at those tasks during those days. And I think it's okay to not be hard on oneself and say I have to write all the time every day. I might change my tune later, but this is my thinking at this point in time.
So you don't have any set hours that you write in a day, but you write so many hours a day. Do you have anything like that?
No, again, because the core objective of taking a break was about being available, because that is my core objective. This is still a secondary thing. Again, year, 2 years, 3 years from now, that may well change, but right now my priority is different, and therefore I don't have set hours. That's not to say I don't work hard enough. I actually write late in the night because that's when everything is done and it's peaceful. So I do a lot of writing at night.
Yes, I get that. So do you participate in writing challenges on social media? We see a lot of that these days, and if you do, can you recommend one?
Honestly, I haven't. I do look at certain publications that have, writing prompts and writing contests. Medium has a lot of those things, but there are other publications, also reputed publications, that run time-bound submissions and contests. I pick some of those and I participate, but to be honest, I haven't participated in maybe 1 or 2 here and there, not too many on social media, so I can't recommend, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, so sometimes it's like that FOMO, right? People like, oh, should I be participating in these challenges? I guess that's okay if one does or one doesn't.
No, I try not to give into that kind of pressure.
Right. Okay, so finally, you did great on the rapid fire round, and once I rustle up a hamper, you'll be getting it. I think you won the contest hands down.
Oh, wow, yeah. Who expected that?
You were really good. Yeah. So what's next? You mentioned that you had a number of ideas. Are you working on something? When, will your next book be out?
I don't have any concrete plans. Like I said, I have multiple threads in my head. I really need to make time and sit down and start sculpting that, whatever books that I have in mind. But it's not one, it's several. So which one will win the race? I'm not sure. But one interesting thing I'm working on right now is a poetry anthology with a group of women in a group called Garden of Neuro. So that's something that's very exciting. That's keeping my mind space occupied. So maybe after that, I'll pick up one of those threads and take it through to completion. Or I may just publish another humor anthology because I've written enough since then. So maybe, I don't know. I honestly don't have concrete plans, but there are several ideas. So I just need to chase after them.
Sounds wonderful. So we'll be seeing Anu the poet soon. So with that, I think, thank you very much for, the time just flew. That was wonderful. Thank you for coming on this channel and for the interview. All the links to, her website and the Garden of Neuro, we'll add it in the description below when this is posted. And do subscribe to Writing with Sandhya if you want to see more such interviews. And if you have questions for Anu, you can put it in there. So Anu, I hope you come back and check if So any of the viewers have questions, if you can answer
Of
that.
course.
And I hope
Yes.
it's inspired some of you to, just start writing, just start blogging. You don't know where it might reach you, or you might just enjoy the journey. So I think
Absolutely.
that's fine. Just start. So thanks once again, Anu. I hope you had fun.
I absolutely did. And thank you for having me here, Sandhya. Really lots of fun. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.